Thank you, Brian and Greg, and hello, everyone. Breaking news on last night's ABC's debut of their new Fun and Games block. That Celebrity Family Feud, Match Game, and Pyramid all were top in their time period last night. Matters of faith and how individuals or families deal with them is one of this year's top subjects for new scripted series. Both Hulu's The Path and Saints and Sinners on Bounce TV have earned quick critical and public attention, and we'll be back next year with new episodes. Now there's Greenleaf, Oprah Winfrey Network's study of a Memphis megachurch and the family behind its operation. The series launched last Tuesday night and became the channel's most viewed new series debut ever, caught by more than 3 million viewers. Inside Greenleaf, there's an exploration of both church and state, as in the state of family secrets coming to light.
You preaching on Sunday?
I don't preach anymore.
The prodigal daughter returns.
Daddy,
It's good having you back.
promise me you're not here to sow discord in the fields of my peace. Nice to see you too, Mama.
You are on a path to be my equal.
You're gonna ask her to take my place?
The Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away.
You using grace to punish me for Faith's death.
Your blind spot when it comes to this girl will be your undoing.
The church has deacons for a reason. Checks and balances. You seem to be only interested in the checks.
I will not have people going through our lives with a fine-tooth comb. We both know that won't be good.
But the preachers are gonna preach your
What don't you want me to see?
down. Good God Almighty, for the preacher.
I knew we should have left this place when she came back.
Kingdom down.
I don't know how you got to be the way you are.
Oh, yeah.
He did it again. You are the only one who can do something about it.
I'd be damned if I'm gonna let everything I worked all these years for slip through my fingers.
If I thought your Uncle Mac did anything, do you think he'd still be alive?
We're gonna tear
You start pulling threads, you're gonna unravel the whole thing. You need to stay out of my way.
It might be better to just let some things be.
Amen.
Satan. Your kingdom is God.
I am not at rest, nor am I quiet.
You ain't gonna win this time.
Satan, we're gonna tear your
I won't be disrespected.
This is a time for peace.
The Bible also says there's a time for war.
We're gonna tear your kingdom down.
Admiral Dandridge, the growing list of breakout stars this year. And yes, that was the gospel great Shirley Caesar you heard doing the title theme music. The ensemble cast includes Oprah in a supporting role, while Emmy-nominated creator-writer Craig Wright, himself a former minister, executive produces with Winfrey and the Book of Negroes writer-director Clement Virgo, also from The Wire. Greenleaf returns with his next episode Wednesday night at 10, and you can hear my exclusive interview with Wright on Tomorrow We Televised Blog Talk Radio homepage and iTunes. Count on Greenleaf joining The Path and Saints and Sinners in second season commitments. Now, last week we told you that Dead John, the Brooklyn-produced New York Television Festival comedy pilot, went on the road to screen at Series Fest in Denver. That event wrapped up last night with an awards ceremony, and unfortunately, Dead came out empty-handed. However, another New York Fest winner from last fall, Riff World Chronicles, scored well. This Canadian entry landed the Best Drama Prize here in New York, and last night received the Audience Award voted by attendees. Plus, will join 7 other Series Fest entries in getting play on selected Virgin Airways flights and inside Virgin hotels in the year ahead. Kudos to Virgin for this initiative, and let's see if a similar arrangement with them or another airline comes together at the New York Fest this October. Rugby will become a Summer Olympics attraction this August in Rio, and lo and behold, it's the latest sport to get a full-time TV service. There's a catch. You can only get this service via Roku, Apple TV, and Chromecast. Former Fox Sports executive Espanol should be President David Sternberg runs the Rugby channel. He will be my lead guest 2 hours from now on Tomorrow We Televised. Plus, we'll hear from Deborah Wolf, the author of a new book detailing her adventures behind the scenes on The Amazing Race, Fear Factor, and The Mole. The book, 1 Year of Reality and How It Nearly Killed Me. That's all today at 3 o'clock on Blog Talk Radio. And gentlemen, Lionsgate, which produced Greenleaf for the Oprah Winfrey Network, made a bit of news late last week. They're going to be adapting Step Up, their popular series of films, into a new YouTube-Red series. It's the first time they've worked with YouTube on an original program. And secondly, they're working with a Brooklyn filmmaker named Moshe to distribute a new project, a series that was shot in Flatbush. And it's about the world of urban crime. He starred in it, produced, wrote, and directed it. And get this, he self-financed a full season of episodes. He crowd-financed a second season of episodes. The series as a whole will be premiering on Amazon Fire TV and on Amazon Prime on Wednesday. Lionsgate will distribute it. He is making press appearances in Manhattan in Wednesday. We hope to have him for tomorrow. We televise a special Wednesday edition, and we'll see if we can try to get him on BK Live next Tuesday.
What's it called?
I think it's called Money and Violence is the name of the series.
Yeah,
and
we just had them here last week, actually. The head behind Money and Violence, he sat right over there. Mo, yeah, he was here with the West Jackson and the Hip Hop Festival.
So we see we try to get him back for BK Live next week because the show comes out next Wednesday. And I got to tell you, this may be an example where things are going because this idea of equity crowdfunding, where people can either make a donation or they can invest in a project up to $1 million. We are starting to see people not just crowdfund pilots, but crowdfund series. And in fact, Amazon earlier today announced another project by another independent filmmaker. Again, he crowdfunded the series, and that's premiering also next week on Amazon.
The hustle is alive.
Alive and well, yeah. I heard that YouTube has that service Red, which is what Step Up is coming out on.
Yeah.
What is Red like? Is that good? Do you watch it?
It's an original program. It's like the HBO of YouTube. It's original programming, both scripted and unscripted. And for Step Up, we should let people know that the couple that got together because of it, Channing Tatum and his wife Jenna Dewan Tatum, the dancer actress, they are going to be executive producing the Step Up TV series.
So you know it'll be great.
Along with Adam Shankman, the choreographer, and as well as the original producers of the films.
So many of these times when these people get executive producer credits, is that just like a vanity thing? I don't know Channing Tatum and his old lady, but I'm saying, is that a thing? Is it a vanity thing? Or are they calling you saying, hey, Simon, can we come on your show? Are they like calling Oprah trying to get a loan? What is an executive
I wouldn't be
credit?
surprised, Brian, if it's like a little bit of each. But here's the thing about Lionsgate. Lionsgate is probably the most with a production company. They're willing to take chances. They're willing to go to any distribution service, whether it's broadcast, cable, YouTube, Amazon, Netflix, et cetera, et cetera. They seem to take a chance. You look at a Greenleaf, you look at Step Up.
Tyler Perry,
so
right?
All the bankroll Tyler Perry movies, absolutely. And of course, they're also Orange is the New Black, which is latest season 4, is many people consider one of their best.
I'm on it. Okay, we've only got 5 minutes, so Game of Thrones for the next 4.5 minutes.
Let's also talk ABC too, because I thought that what they did last night with Pyramid and Match Game produced in New York was terrific. I thought Michael Strahan was marvelous.
Yeah. Nice to see him working.
Nice to see him working. And I thought Alec Baldwin was pretty good with the contestants on Match Game. I think people who loved the original with Gene Rayburn really enjoyed it. The set was marvelous. It was more intimate,
and it's
close
out
to the
of
audience.
New York.
It's out of New York.
So both Match Game and Pyramid. I didn't see Pyramid, but I caught the last few minutes of Match Game before tuning into Game of Thrones.
So what's going on with Game of Thrones? How many people watched last night? How many more seasons are there going to be?
We don't know yet. HBO should be coming out with an early number later today with Nielsen estimates. We hear there'll be at least 2 more seasons. But what made this season remarkable was the first one that was not wedded to a George Martin book. This is the first time that the producers were on their own, and it's been the buzz of social media all year long, both last week's episode, this week's episode. We had Jerry Podeswa, who is the Emmy Award nominee for Game of Thrones 2 years ago. He directed the first 2 this year, including the one that one of the key characters, Jon Snow, was resurrected. Remember the
spoiler alert. You have to say spoiler alert.
He was resurrected. And by the way, he will be back directing at least the first episode next year.
So is this a seminal season based partly because they've gotten away from the books?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It showed that they could be on their own and create a pretty good world.
And they did a heck of a job, especially these last 2 episodes. So last night, too, we were talking a little bit about the BET Awards. It's always a big night for them. When they do their show. Do we have any idea what kind of numbers they pulled?
If it's anything like the last couple of years, it'll probably be anywhere between like 4, 5, 6 million. It's usually one of the top attractions of that night. This was last night was a very big night for television, with ABC's game show block, NBC running live gymnastics before the Olympics in Rio, the Game of Thrones finale, Snapped, which is the Oxygen series. We had its 300th episode. We had the start of Roadies, the new Showtime series from Cameron Crowe. I'm sorry to say the reviews were not great, so I'm hoping that they will
Yeah.
Whatever tweaks they have to do, they'll get it done in upcoming episodes. So it was a pretty big, and of course the BET Awards. So it was a very, very big night for television.
And here come the Olympics too. That's coming soon, right?
Yeah.
Big,
early August.
Big ratings for the Olympics.
I had a question about yesterday. I logged on to my Netflix, and before I could even get to it, they were telling me that they're going to be robbing me for a little bit more money now. They're like, "Oh, we're raising our rates. You want to learn about this or continue watching whatever you're watching right now?" And I just kept going. But what am I going to be getting? Is Netflix pumping my money into more original things?
They're pumping a lot more money into original programming. It's like almost every week they announce something new. They announced an unscripted series with a YouTube personality late last week. I mentioned Step Up with YouTube Red, which will probably ultimately go to their full service. There's going to be a lot more from YouTube. They have announced already for 2017.
I mean, I'm sorry, Netflix, not YouTube.
I'm saying Netflix, yeah.
Okay, Netflix is.
For example, something. By the way, next month they have a new series with Winona Ryder called Stranger Things.
That looks good.
Which looks good. The Get Down, the first series from Baz Luhrmann, the director behind Moulin Rouge and Strictly Ballroom, produced in the Bronx, dealing with the growth of music in the 1970s. I hear it is outstanding.
Better than vinyl.
Yes, better than vinyl, which will not be back for a second season.
Vinyl will not be back for a second season. I mean, is HBO going to get another Emmy for Game of Thrones this season? I mean, I read this whole article about how vinyl was their $100 million investment because they were really looking for a hit. But
Game of Thrones is certainly going to be a contender, but I'll tell you, it is going to be a real tight race this year. Every single category is going to be contested. You've got all this marvelous talent that's come into the scene.
What are some other contenders for Best Drama?
I think Underground will be a contender for Best Drama. I think Good Wife might be for the final season. Game of Thrones certainly will be. Mr. Robot is going to be a huge contender. And if you haven't heard, second season premieres in a couple weeks on USA. Sam Esmail, the creator, is directing all the episodes. They've added 2 more episodes to the order, and they're going to do an after show, at least for the first episode.
American Crime Story.
American Crime Story will be up there in the miniseries category. Roots will be up there too. Night Manager from AMC, I think, has got a great shot. Humans, I think, if people remember that show from last summer, I think could be a contender this year. So you've got a whole batch of series and a lot of new series that are going to be entering the fold this year. It's a wide open race.
How about that OJ miniseries, huh? Not the Cuba Gooding one, but the ESPN one?
Made in America. That will definitely be up in the unscripted categories. So it's going to be a very,
I'm being told to ask you about the New Edition movie.
No one has seen one.
Oh, yes, coming next year. New Edition miniseries. It's one of 2 miniseries that BET is going to do next year. One is a Nelson Mandela miniseries. Kevin Hooks, wonderful director, the son of the great actor Robert Hooks, did Prison Break for a number of years with Fox. He's going to be directing that series, which will be on location in South Africa. And then there's the New Edition miniseries, where they will have, they've already handpicked the cast.
Simon, you're the greatest. I swear. You know everything, and it's always, you're the best.
It's a pleasure, guys.
We'll continue to talk off the air.